So hi everyone, today in this video we're going to develop another mental model that can be useful for you, since mental models are representations about how the reality works, and as much more you grasp them, higher is your probability of get what you want. And what you want is prosperity, but to get prosperity you need to get a good ability to be a decision maker, because the actions that you take obviously they can be infinite, but the ones that you will put in practice are just one of few. And what so makes you select some of the ones that you're going to do and the other ones that you will not is your decision making. And then so obviously you need to develop a good decision making, since obviously all depending of the creativity and information that you got. That so makes you have hypotheses, theories to act. Decision making is what will ultimately so will make you select the best actions. And obviously for that, what you require and what are like the processes to make you so select certain actions in comparison with other ones is all the type of things that influences decision making. Information, the context that you are present particularly, so general principles that you think that applies in whole type of countries in the world, so almost like universal rules, but then so you require what? Information. Require information and interpretation of the context that you are. And then some mental models, they play a huge role there to improve decision making, because mental models are the essence, the concept, the abstract of what could be information. And obviously they can be taken from the all fields of study that exist. Technology, learning, thinking, economics, and today we're going to talk about the specific mental model of the world of economics. And what's going to be this mental model? The Hotling's rule. Why finite resources get pricier over the time. So we're going to understand these dynamics of increasing the price of some resources over the time, specifically the ones that are finite. So the Hotling rule, it was named after economist Harold Hotelling, explains how owners of non-renewable resources like oil, gold, lithium set prices to maximize profits over the time. The rule states so that the price of a finite resource should rise at a rate equal to the interest rate, reflecting the opportunity cost of extracting it now versus saving it for the future. So fail to follow this and you risk squandering your wealth. So it's this the main core idea of this mental model, but then we need to get dive in and develop a bit more to try to understand so how it works. So how it works, what that I would like to bring to understand this mental model. The first one, so the interest rate factor. So how I could explain it. So by extracting and probably selling a resource today means what? Losing potential future gains. So I'm preferring to sell now in comparison with cool I could explore and just sell in the future. So it's like a choice. And then so if I extract and sell a resource today means that I'm losing potential future gains. And then so for that statement by being true, owners demand compensation equal to what they had earned investing the money. So example, if a oil is 100 type of cost and the interest rate is 5%, then I gonna require so by understanding that in the future the price will be 105. I expect so the real price of the oil has to be so 105 today as well. So I can expect then in the future I could save more, and then so by understanding it that in the future I will receive more, I have to get compensated to sell now, because if something is finite, what is the tendency over time? It becomes more scarce, and we know that as things becomes more scarce, things so becomes more valuable, and then so if I want to sell now, I'm probably so I'm in type in terms of quality, not considering inflation. I'm losing money because I could just sell in the future, and then so I'm not doing it, and then so I have opportunity cost that has to compensate. So the action, so as to compensate the action of selling now as being in terms of opportunity cost the same as doing in the future. And so probably I have to sell in amount or in the present a bit higher from what so is practiced in prior years. We have as well the extraction costs. If digging up oil gets harder, like deeper wells, prices rise faster to cover added costs. So the thing where you have today that explains the evolution over time is if the things become scarce, the things become scarce over the time, then so I kind of say that to sell now, I kind of require more money to sell it. And so it's one of the dynamics to increase these type of resources, the price over time. So becomes they become variable as the time goes on. But as well, we have the extraction cost because it's much more to explain. We tend to say that as much so they become scarce because they're finite and I'm selling over time, it's become over time as well more difficult to dig because I have to explore and got a lot. And then so digging it becomes even harder to even get deeper wells. And then so price rises faster to cover these added costs. And some of these they grow exponential, which so makes the resource grow as well in terms of price exponential. We have the market power. Monopolies like the whole peak manipulate supply to push prices above Otling's rates, banking on scarcity fears. What are like the real world examples? I have the lithium rush. As the electrical vehicles demand soars, lithium prices surge not just from scarcity, but because miners delay extraction betting on higher future prices. We have the diamond hoarding. The bears stockpiles the diamonds to artificially inflate prices, exploiting the illusion of scarcity. We have the whole pig's oil playbook. By limiting oil production, OPEC keeps prices rising faster than Otling's rule predicts, maximizing so the cartel profits. And the fracking's disruption, USA shale oil flooded the market, crashing prices and breaking Otling's logic temporarily. So, but why it matters? I think people understand energy costs. Otling's math dictates why gas should get pricier even without shortage. Climate change as well. If fossil fuel prices rise too slowly, companies extract recklessly, too fast, and green energy can't compete. Geopolitical power as well. Nations with resources like the Saudi Arabia, Russia, leverage Hogling's logic to fund regimes and wage wars. So we understand how this dynamic influence whether they're talking about the geopolitical affair, but as well so how they kind of difficult to the climate change, the climate type of transition that people are trying to make, and obviously so it explains a lot of the costs and the growth of the energy. So it explains a lot of one of the most important concepts in our economy that are the price of the things that we hike to control to not losing purchase power over the time. But then so what could be the solutions even knowing that you just adopt one of these alone they are imperfect. So what are solutions that are mainly they're so made by the government and obviously they understand some of these rules by studying them. So we have one the carbon taxes. And what so carbon tax does force companies to pay for environmental harm, aligning prices with true societal costs. Antitrust action, another thing, break monopolies that manipulate supply. We have so the example of how big the beers. So a lot we see a lot of laws try to break them. We so have and we understand that exist carbon taxes and as well other things that are general type of solutions that the governments they tend to do is invest in substitutes. So like the solar, the nuclear, the recycling that reduce dependency on finite resources that so we don't want them to by having this natural to get too much expensive and the people that works as the supply they play with their speculation. So having them addicting artificial value on them that's mainly so what scarcity does and some of the manipulation to create that scarcity and then so obviously sometimes this money that they got they don't spend in what we tend to believe that the society as evolved should spend, not in war, not in creating some type of regimes that we don't like. So I expect this video has make you gain insights. Expect this was enough you that may like so and put like, make you so subscribe if you have liked enough, and see other videos that may trigger your interest. So without much more to say, just thank you that you have been till this part of this video, and see you in the next one.